Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Today's video, we're just gonna do a little reading update. Yep, I'm trying to get back into the swing of doing the weekly updates because I just kind of prefer that for myself. so yeah, let's just get started. I hope that you're having a good New Year so far, and Happy New Year to you. And hope your reading year has started off well. Mine's been pretty good. So let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? Into what I've been reading. So yeah, and so the first thing that I finished so far, I finished a couple things already for the month, which is good. But I did start with White Ibis, and this is by Wendy Darylmple, and this is the pick for Kelly's new book club. Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books. She has a new book club that she started this year. She calls it Eerie Indies, where she's picking us out some indie horror books to read. Words. And so this was the pick for January. And this actually is quite short. I think it was under 100 pages. You can get it on Kindle Unlimited, which is how I read it. And yeah, I kind of really liked this one. And yeah, so I think how can I describe this one? Following kind of a young woman who this does take place in Florida, and she's doing all the things that she's, I guess, is supposed to be doing. She's living with her boyfriend. She has a job, even though she doesn't particularly like it. She goes to yoga. She's looks a certain way, and all that kind of good thing, all that kind of stuff, right? The stuff that she's supposed to be doing, right? But she's not really happy in her relationship, and she, like I said, she kind of hates her job. So she's kind of feeling a little weird about things. But at a yoga class, she meets this other stunning young lady, and they quickly form a friendship. And well, we'll just say the story goes from there. And there's some secrets. There's more than meets the eye. There's some freaky birds. Yeah. And I'm going to leave it at that because it is nice and short. And so anything else would just kind of ruin it for you. But I really, really liked this one. The main character, she's not a great person. like you kind of don't like her really. But the development of the story was pretty interesting, and it definitely went in a direction that I wasn't quite expecting. Like, there was something I was thinking was going on, but then I was like, oh, we're gonna go this direction. Okay, I am along for the ride. And yeah, so I really enjoyed that. So it was nice. It was a nice start to the year, to start off with something that you enjoyed, like a little quick thing to get it finished, and kind of have it under your belt, right, and get moving. So yeah, I really liked that. And as far as the other thing that I have finished so far, and I just finished this yesterday, was The Institute by Stephen King. I did listen to this on audiobook, and this one's not crazy long. It's about 550 pages. It's longish, right? But and yeah, this one was pretty okay, actually, for Stephen King. You just never know what you're going to get with this guy. But this is part of our Stephen King read-along that we're doing. That we discussed the books over on Brad Proctor's Discord, and this was the pick for January. And I bought this when it first came out, and then just never read it. So finally had the chance to actually read it. And yeah, I did really enjoy this one for the most part. So basically, the Institute is what we learn, is the crux of the story here. We follow the Institute is this sort of place kind of in the sort of rural area. That's a hard word to say. Rural area of Maine, and children are taken there, and children with kind of certain abilities, usually like telekinesis or telepathy. The other telord. So you think that that's kind of kids with kind of special powers, right? and we discover what's going on at the Institute, what is the purpose of the Institute, why are these kids being taken to the Institute, and it goes from there. It gets kind of dark at times. There are a lot of child characters in here where some pretty awful things happen to them. So it's just really a general warning for that if you don't like to see bad things happen to kids. So in that aspect, definitely like Stranger Things vibes, because it just gives you Hawkins Lab vibes for sure. But I think it's what I appreciate about Stephen King most is his character work, and that's very evident here. The characters here are really wonderful. Even the bad, even the bad folks, are done pretty well. The kid characters here are really great. The main kid, Lord, I forgot his name already. Luke, that's right. So he's kind of a main kid that we're following, and we meet him at the beginning of the story and all that, and how he ends up at the Institute, and so he's like our main kid that we're following, and he's you really kind of going to grow attachment to him, and hope that he comes out all right in the end, that kind of thing, and yeah, so I really liked the characters in here. It's kind of King doing, I think, what King does really well as far as character work for sure. The overall story, it was good. It definitely pulled me in. It kept me, I was interested. I wanted to see, what was going to happen by the end of it. So overall, for a newer King story, I think this one, this one's a hit, but also, as it being a King story, there were some political things in here that I just, I'm just tired of it. It grows old. I don't know. Like, we get it, you know what I mean? Also, there was an iteration of the R word used in here, I know, at least 3 times, and which I'm just like, really, dude, really? You're an author. You have access to a lot of words. You know other words. Use those other words. It's not that hard to do. So, so really, because of some of those political things and the language use on here, which I just think is still just really ridiculous in this day and age to be using those words, and also the M word in relation to a small person, you don't use that word either. So, find a thesaurus if you need, sir. But anyway, so I kind of, 3.5 stars is what I settled on, just because those things are really bugged me about it. But overall, the story was really good, and so I definitely enjoyed my time with it, and glad to have finally read it. You know how that goes. Finally clear a book off your shelf. So since that's finishing, so I'm up to 26 books finished for the Read What You Own challenge, which I'm super excited about. So if you're not familiar with that, that was started by Ali over at Criminali, and there are tiers to you pick how many books that you want to read before you're able to buy more. I have gone top tier with trying to read 100 before I can buy any more books. And honestly, I've not really been that tempted. I feel really good about, choosing the 100 and getting through 100. And honestly, I'm going to see how far through the whole year that I can make it. Maybe I can make it to like my birthday in October or something like that. Because I have so many books on my shelf, and that I can just shop my shelves, honestly, and find wonderful books to read. So we'll see. We'll see how far I make it, but I'm definitely going to at least get to the 100, and maybe we'll just kind of reevaluate from there, right? But I'm at 26 now, feeling really good about that challenge. Okay, so a few things that I do have in progress. I will say I did start our, I don't know why I want to say this wrong, Audrey Rose. Now this is also for one of Kelly Hooked on Books, is her From Hell book club, which she has 2 picks for this month. And this one is really slow. It is quite slow moving, and I've honestly had to put it aside, and need to take a little break from that one. It's not, I would say it's actually not really a horror book. It feels more thrillery, maybe. But there's this family in New York City, and they have a young girl, daughter, and there's this dude that's like following them around, and he finally comes out and says, your daughter is actually my daughter, Audrey Rose, reincarnated because she died in a car accident some years ago. And then your daughter was born right after that. And I think she has like repressed memories from Audrey Rose and blah, 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 blah. So it goes from there. Like, the premise sounds really cool. But Lord have mercy, those two parents, the New York City parents, they are not very interesting. they're what I would maybe call yuppies. I don't know. They're just weird. I don't know. It's just not pulling me in. I'm maybe about a quarter of the way in so far, and like we're just getting to the part where the man is like getting to them and saying that your daughter's my daughter, reincarnated. And I know there's like a whole trial bit to it, like courtroom trial. I think this man ends up kidnapping this little girl. Woo, I was a little bored, and so I put that one down for a little bit. I may or may not come back to it. I don't know. I got that from the library, so we ain't stressing that one too much. You know what I'm saying? I did make a start on Midnight Tides, y'all. Book 5. Is this book 5? Yes, book 5 of the Malazan series. And don't you know we're in like totally new freaking characters, and this freaking guy. Okay, but anyway, I'm enjoying it so far. I've read the first chapter, and it's pretty. And actually, there was a prologue here, which was actually really interesting. It gave a little bit of back history to one of the, I guess, kind of races that are in this world. So I'm excited. So I'm trying to take little notes as I go on each chapter. It's just kind of an overall, like, this is kind of what happened. So that I can kind of keep these things fresh in my mind, because one thing about this series is that sometimes it's so much going on that you can kind of forget, So I want to kind of, because I did, hopefully going to get onto the live chat that will be happening over on Steve Talks Books channel with this, because I'm going to try to hop into that group read. And so I just kind of want to have maybe just a few little notes on some things, or so I can kind of remember what's going on, And I am listening to the audiobook while reading this, and that I'm finding that to be very helpful. So I have confidence that I'm going to finish this book and not take months and months and months. I'm also currently reading Childgrave by Ken Greenhall. Now this is for Rachel over the Shades of Orange Patreon book club, and so far I'm really liking this one. I was really excited to read it after having loved reading Elizabeth by this author last year, and so when this was chosen for the club, I was like, oh yeah, we want to read more Ken Greenhall. So this is available on Scribd as an ebook. If you have that service, you can pick it up there. Excuse me. Now this story is a bit odd so far. I will say it's not quite what I thought it was going to be as far as the storytelling and the narrative, and some of the characters in here. But I'm pretty interested, and I'll just kind of talk more about it when I'm finished. But I'm liking that one so far. And as far as in progress, I have my short story collection for the month is the Served Cold anthology. This one is the one that came out in 2021. Was that right? And the horrortube anthology. Yep, 2021. And I'm really enjoying these so far. And I'm trying to write a little note for each story in here also. So story 1 was Carbonicolas, I'm not really sure, by Cameron Chaney. And I just wrote here, a family at Christmas time seems to be battling some demons, some personal and some real. 4 stars for that story. Liked that one. And then we've got The Rescue by Janine Pipe. This one was good. A rescue crew goes to the Himalayas to look for the previous crew that they hadn't heard from in a while, and perhaps something else is waiting for them. That one was a lot of fun. Red Albums by Ken Wolfe. This one was really kind of bittersweet and definitely had a sad undertone to it. A son comes to his dad's house because he isn't doing very well and he doesn't visit very often. They have a difficult history. The son learns something very heartbreaking about his father. Yep. That one was good. And then just the most recent one I read was Magic in the Hat by Donnie Goodman. 3 young teen boys, troublemakers of their kind of upper class neighborhood. They destroyed snowmen in the neighborhood, but maybe get more than they bargained for. So yeah, so there's the stories I've read so far, and yeah, just having a lot of fun with this one. Perfect time of year to read it because they're all so far some cold weather settings. So yeah, I think that is about it for what I have been up to this past week for my reading. Let me just double check. But yeah, so my year has started off pretty well, I would say, and I'm excited. I'm feeling good about it, and yeah. So I think I'll just kind of leave it there. So let me know what you have started the year off with your reading, and I hope that you're enjoying it. Let me know. I definitely want to know. As far as watching stuff, I am like totally obsessed with Love in the Air. It is a Thai show. My sister and I are watching it. We're obsessed and in love with this show. Have you watched this show? Let me know. You have to find it like sneakily on the internet. I don't know. My sister sent me a link. But it's like I said, it's a Thai show that's very LGBTQ plus, and I love it. Other than that, we haven't been watching too much, I don't think, yet, quite this year. We haven't gotten, dug into anything yet. Okay, I'm rambling now. So I'm gonna leave it here. Thanks so much for watching, as always. I appreciate your time. And until the next time, bye friends.